This week on the show, we catch up on a wild week of movie news, plus which DC character will be the last one standing. All that and the week's top stories in our roundup. It's time for another episode of Nerd It Here Weekly. Bruno, do the thing.
We're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
This better not awaken anything in me.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
I'm responsible for my own happiness. I can't even be responsible for my own breakfast.
We have Santa Claus. Assemble.
Welcome to Nerd Here Weekly, the podcast about the week's biggest stories in nerdy news. I'm Riley Trahan, Senior Entertainment Editor here at Nerd Here First, and as always, I'm joined by my co-hosts, Deepak Chitness.
I'm happy that Jack and I were perfectly synced on that head nod.
Bruno Meneses.
I didn't realize it, so I couldn't be.
And recently announced as a part of the upcoming Ocean's 14, it's Jackson Trahan.
It's a real honor. You know, the good news is the longer you don't get accepted, the better your odds get, because they need more and more people.
Well, he's not part of the crew. They're stealing him.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's the best part. Yeah, I'm the heistee, not the heister.
He's the quarry.
I was surprised to hear that you were actually selected to replace Bernie Mac, Jackson.
Well, you know, it's not what I auditioned for, but you take the roles you can get.
We have so much stuff going on the website. Speaking of needing one more.
Website?
We have Deepak and I reviewed the film Begonia with guest contributor KB. Jackson and I reviewed the new Netflix film Frankenstein. And we have a whole bevy of award season coverage coming up. That's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Can be pretty confusing, can get easy to get lost. Jackson, how do you recommend that people make sure that they never miss a thing?
Well, I recommend that they follow us on whatever podcasting app they're listening to this on right now, or on social media, on the Facebook, on the Instagram, on the Threads, and be sure to check in, as you say, on our website. That's where you'll get all the most up-to-date information and coverage.
NIHF.com, organic plug. All right, let's get to the news. First up in the roundup, Steam Machine is back. Return of we could call it the Gabe Cube, I guess, if we wanted to. The Aperture Entertainment Companion Cube. I don't know what you want to call it, but we got a whole bunch of announcements about Valve getting back into the hardware business with a new controller, a new little square-shaped gaming mechanism, a VR system.
It is called the Steam. Now you've made me doubt it, but it is called the Steam Machine. There was a product that was called the Steam Machine before.
Yes,
and
that product doesn't exist anymore, and now this is what's called that.
And it is pretty much.
And yeah, it seems like a little computer that's a little cube. So Valve obviously released the Steam Deck a number of years ago to, I would say, pretty solid commercial success. Most people who own it, I think, are pretty happy with it. So it's not surprising that they're getting further into the hardware space. It's just a little surprising because they have had so many false starts in this area before.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the original Steam controller, Riley, you and I recall. I think you still have yours. I don't know.
Looking around to see if I have it in this room immediately, but no, I seem to have it in cold storage.
But those are valuable for where they were, because Valve stopped making them, and a lot of people really like them for easily connecting to your computer. So I'm glad to see a new Steam controller. That's exciting, but I think I am most excited for the Steam Frame, a new VR system that I want more details about, because I have wanted to get into VR for a long time, and none of the headsets have really convinced me, because I don't think a lot of them have longevity for the investment that it takes. But if this one hooks up with Steam, and if they're willing to support it the way that they've been supporting the Steam Deck, I think this could be a very interesting proposition.
Do we have any tech specs on the Steam Frame itself, or I don't
know if we do on the frame.
The announcement video, at the very least, explained that they was going to be a high end type of resolution control where they would be tracking.
Oh, here we go. No, yeah, we have some.
Oh, there we go.
I mean, these are all numbers. I can read you the numbers.
Sure.
It does seem like it's a computer And this is one of the advertised features, is that you don't need to hook it up to a computer.
Right.
It operates all on its own, which means you don't
Yeah.
have to have cables all hooked up to you or fancy sensors all over your room, in theory. I'm curious about things like battery life and like general graphical power.
Right. They did not
VR is
mention
famously difficult.
they did not mention battery power on the frame, but I know the controller has been advertised to have 35 hours of battery life, which is pretty good.
That's interesting.
And all of these things are being made in partnership with AMD, using their architecture and parts and things like that. So it's definitely very exciting, and they say all of these things should ship in early 2026, I think they're saying. Which is very soon.
Nuts. Well,
They haven't said anything on pricing.
no, right. And that, I think, is probably the biggest question, especially given what we expect some of the tech specs to be on it, if it is going to kind of be part of a next generation of things. So we'll keep an eye on it. Definitely watch this space for more. No real clean segue into our next roundup story, so I'll just jump right into it and say that V for Vendetta is headed to HBO. If you could think of a good way for me to segue into that from the Steam hardware story, please leave a comment, nihf.com. Drop a comment there or on our YouTube. So, guys, according to this, Pete Jackson, not Peter Jackson, let's be clear, is attached to write a series of V for Vendetta for HBO. James Gunn and Peter Safran of DC Studios will executive produce. Not much more known at the moment. Obviously, very early development on this one. We expect it'll follow the same plot that the comic and the film followed. But what do you guys think of the notion of a V for Vendetta TV series?
Is it live action or animated?
I think it's supposed to be live action. I think it's sort of in the same world as like the Watchmen series they did a couple not like literally the same universe, but like the same feel.
Vibe,
Yeah,
right.
the same
Well,
vibe as that Watchmen show they did a couple years ago.
That was my next question. Are they readapting V for Vendetta, or are they kind of expanding on it the way the Watchmen show did? Because two different things, right? If they're redoing V for Vendetta, I don't know that I care to watch that. And Warner Brothers, we've talked about, has this sickness where they go back to the Watchmen well every few years and readapt it as a 3-part animated movie or whatever. So I thought maybe that's what they're doing with it. If it's another live-action adaptation of V for Vendetta, I'll skip it. If it's something where they want to expand that story, maybe show us the origin of how, Big Brother came into power, or the aftermath of what, where the movie sort of leaves off, this picks back up. I think there could be some interesting stuff going on there. Obviously, there's a lot of relevance thematically to what that is talking about. V for Vendetta, 1984, all of that, and sort of the larger infringement on privacy rights, authoritarianism, things like that. So obviously, it's relevant. I'm not against them doing it, but as someone who's consumed it in 2 forms already, I just want to be sure what I'm getting into.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I really enjoyed the Damon Lindelof Watchmen show from a few years ago. I thought the Penguin Prestige series was good. Really enjoyable. I would love if this was sort of in that space. As I anticipate Lanterns will be good, right? That's another sort of like adult DC live action drama. Peacemaker.
Right.
I feel like if V for Vendetta is in that same lane, kind of regardless of what they're doing with it, I will be interested. I don't know if I am as interested in sort of like the rise of the fascist regime. I would just, I wouldn't mind if they sort of took the plot of V for Vendetta and kind of found places to sort of play in the margins of it, like tell me the story maybe of the overall rebellion that exists sort of beyond the boundaries of like the Natalie Portman character that we know from the adaptation originally. I don't, again though, like this is sort of where I get worried about like people getting adaptation syndrome, right? Where I'm like, what I don't need is I don't need an origin story for the V character, which is like going to be the most like they want to do that thing in the world, right? That's going to be tell me who Darth Vader is. They're going to be drawn to that like catnip, and I would be very surprised if they were be able to avoid it. But we'll see. Any other thoughts there?
I'm not familiar with the V for Vendetta movie per se.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, I was telling Deepak this the other day that I actually haven't seen that yet. I need to find the time to see it. But just
yeah, you do.
Just a question on like
Long.
when it comes to like TV show adaptations in general. We don't know if this is going to be for seasons, if this is going to be just like a mini series or anything like that. Is there space? Is there a place in like the storyline from the original movie where you could expand on like the world building and stuff like that, specifically to allow to like drop in little seeds to like build up a whole show out of it?
Yeah, I think you can follow other revolutionaries. You can follow people within the party. You can follow people who even worked at the news station where the Natalie Portman character worked. There are other millions of lives that are happening at the same time the story is happening,
Right.
and you could follow any number of those and tie them into maybe a secondary plot that we didn't know about that was happening at the same time as the main events of V for Vendetta, both the book and the movie. That would be something that I think I'm more interested in than just getting Remember the 5th of November all over again.
Right.
Yeah. I think you could definitely do Andor with it, right? Like, I think that's easy. You could just remake Andor and put, like, sort of the trappings of dystopian future sci-fi British onto it and, like, give one guy a mask, and you've basically got the same thing. You know, so, like, you could... The way that Andor, like, explores, like, the bureaucracy of the Empire and the banality of evil and all that, like, there's space in the V for Vendetta mythology for a similar show if you wanted to be... if you wanted to go that route with it. The other thing I would say, again, like the low-hanging fruit of adaptation, that's like if I had to place my money on what you do in a HBO V for Vendetta adaptation, in the original story, and then, of course, again, in the film, the main character, Harper, the Natalie Portman character, is abducted and imprisoned. In prison, she finds sort of a series of letters from a character who is off screen named Valerie Page, who was a film actress that was imprisoned like at the beginning of the fascist uprising. And like reading her story, reading Valerie Page's story, is what helps Harper to like kind of like get the resolve to get her through the revolution. There is sort of an interesting twist regarding the Valerie Page situation, which I won't necessarily discuss here because, as Bruno says, he hasn't seen it, and we didn't, declare this spoilers for V for Vendetta. But I think something like the Valerie Page story would sort of be a really easy layup, where you could kind of be like, we have this template for what an early in the revolution victim might have looked like. Let's just do that. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Speaking of unanticipated Warner Brothers sequels, we have got news this week that through acquisition of Village Roadshow, one of the most prolific financiers in Hollywood, we will now be seeing a potential smattering of future Warner Brothers sequels. Deepak, I don't know how much you followed this story, but evidently...
Matrix 4, Ocean's 14 is the main takeaways.
Yep, there was a big auction, and Warner Brothers Discovery set a
Matrix
dateline
5,
price for the derivative rights for all Village Roadshow financed films. It bid through 10 rounds, and they ended up with $18.5 million offer. And yeah, now it seems as if we're going to be moving forward with another Oceans, another Matrix, maybe another Joker, and another Wonka. I think are the 4 big ones people were looking at.
So I'll take those one at a time. Wonka I'll start with because I know the least about it, but my understanding is that the Chalamet musical from a couple of Christmases ago was a modest success. And it's by the guy who did Paddington, which obviously has quite a following, so that seems like a layup, no problem there. Joker sequel is problematic on 2 fronts. From a narrative perspective, given how the second one ended, I guess you could continue it. I don't know why you would. Obviously, from a commercial perspective, the new one bombed, so I don't know why there would be.
Yeah, I would think it would have to be more of a reboot or something like that than a straight Joaquin trilogy.
Or it just becomes a Harley Quinn movie now. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Practical Magic 2 also expected to be out the gate early here. I think I'm probably...
with Bullock and Kidman.
I don't know if they are like slated to return.
I think Bullock said something to that.
That'd be great. I'd be all here for it. Yeah, I don't know. Any of those other ones jump out at you? Jack, are you here for Matrix 5? Obviously, we already
I have a few other Matrix films I'd need to watch first.
Sure. We already discussed your deep financial interest in the Oceans saga, so I won't ask you to go on the record.
And I've got like
Ocean's deep
12 of
financial
those
interest in
movies to
you.
watch.
So many. And speaking
The
of
Oceans one is interesting because they had always said they weren't going to make any more of those after Bernie Mac died, and then especially after Carl Reiner died.
right,
But it looks like they're going back to that well anyway. I think there's a lot of people there who probably need a little bit of a career bump from doing that. And Matrix 5 is a bad idea, but go ahead. I mean, the last one was fine, but each time they end it, they should just end it, and it makes me nervous when they don't.
if there was an interest in just doing a full clean reboot of the Matrix and just starting that story over, I would at least not be offended by it. If I do not think you can go back to the Keanu well without the Wachowskis. Like, I just feel like that is their,
I don't think he would come back without
Yeah.
her or them. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I it's sort of like the reboot of Marvel, right? Eventually, there's just going to be another Matrix, right? They're just going to give some upcoming action director a gun fu movie and put the Matrix label on it, and it'll be back in my day.
And it's a universe that sets itself up for that, so the rules are
Right.
already
Right.
reboot friendly.
Yep, everything just gets reset.
I'm not saying it's right, just it's possible.
Old men officially done yelling at clouds. Next in the roundup, Oscar Isaacs had. Pardon me, I always say Oscar Isaacs. I always pluralize him. I don't know why.
Isn't it Isaac?
It is Isaac.
All of the Oscar
All
Isaacs
of the Oscar Isaacs. No,
It's
just
because
one.
of Jason Isaacs, probably.
spoke in their one thunderous voice.
And they
The
said,
multiverse.
"I will not work with Disney unless they do not succumb to fascism." Yeah. So Oscar on his Frankenstein tour was talking a little smack about the Disney franchise, particularly Star Wars, not wanting to get outdone by Adam Driver, I suppose. He was specifically concerned about the fact that they pulled Kimmel off the air following the death of Charlie Kirk. And he said in an interview with GQ magazine, when asked if he would be open to returning to Star Wars, he said, quote, "Yeah, I mean, I'd be open to it, although right now I'm not so open to working with Disney, but if they can kind of figure it out and, not succumb to fascism, that would be great. If that happens, then yeah, I'd be open to having a conversation about a galaxy far away, or any number of other things," obviously sort of hinting at future Moon Knight stuff there at the end. Deepak, we'll start with you as our ambassador of Quan for all things Star Wars. What did you make of the statement?
My initial reaction, because I didn't see the interview or the clip, was that he may have been trying to negotiate in public. We know that they've been soft launching episode 10 with Rey for some time now, and if she's coming back, it only stands to reason that Poe Dameron and Finn and BB-8 and the whole rest of the gang comes back. So is this Oscar Isaac having already gotten wind of that and trying to say, oh, I'd love to come back, but this, that, and the other? It doesn't sound like that is the case, although planting questions is not unheard of. I don't want to be a conspiracy theory guy. I'd like to see him back. I liked him as that character, but he's also the only one of those three that doesn't need Star Wars anymore.
Yeah, which is interesting, right?
He's the Harrison Ford out of this Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher trio.
Yep.
And that's because he already had sort of a career before this.
Are you leaving Boyega out of that? Is that the...
Yeah, I don't think Boyega has any career to speak of anymore.
Yeah,
and I
agreed.
don't see Rey in anything. So
Right.
And BB-8's nowhere to be found. So.
Well, BB-8 really did get run out of Hollywood after those.
I mean, just a one-trick pony.
I was glad, though, to see that our guy, Babu Frick, is going to be in theaters next summer. He's still working.
They've got him as the next Bond.
Babies.
All right. Finally, in our roundup this week, we got great news, guy. Well, listen, GTA 6 is delayed, and I recognize that might sound bad news. But the good news is it's delayed for totally normal and perfectly reasonable reasons that have nothing to do with laying off workers or who may or may not have snitched on certain in-game aspects. Right, Jack? Right?
Absolutely.
What? Oh, hold on.
Jack's like, this definitely why they got fired.
So, I guess, correct me if I'm wrong here, but apparently $60 million down the tube on account of having to lay off some 34 people fired off of GTA 6 after certain in-game features around the casino that was going to have actual online gambling was revealed. Whether or not the layoffs have anything to do with the delay, Rockstar would quibble. One person familiar with the situation described it as they said they are trying to avoid, quote, a cyberpunk situation, which I thought was pretty rude. But Bruno, will we ever play Grand Theft Auto 6?
Would you rather they say a No Man's Sky situation?
No, that would be very rude.
I mean, they say it's gonna happen, so like I don't see them like canceling the whole game itself.
Yeah, right.
But at this point, it's starting to get really hard to see how many people are actually going to be interested in playing it, especially when these leaks seem to lead to that it's only going to be another pay to win sort of game, at least when it comes to like the online portion of it.
Yeah, I definitely feel like there were a lot of people this week who lost a lot of enthusiasm for the game, who were kind of like, "Oh, here we go again." It does seem like GTA 6 is at risk of becoming our new mutants.
Dre's the Chronic.
Sure. But at the same time, I mean, they kicked it 6 months. They still have a date on it, right? They haven't totally put it back into the vault or whatever. So,
is there data that quantifies any dip in enthusiasm and then subsequent ramp up whenever there's a delay for a big AAA title in the past, whether it's Cyberpunk or Red Dead or whatever?
There is usually a re-up like when like the marketing starts back up, like when they release another trailer or something like that. Then
yeah, but for everyone who got blueballed for this release, right? They thought they were going to get it in like a month, and then the company was like, "Psych, never mind." How many of those people are lost? They're just like, "Fuck it, I'm out now." Like, you broke my heart. I was so amped up, and now I'm just done.
I think in this case it was like this delay, because how many delays has it had so far? But this delay being only 6 months long, I don't see that many people like automatically dropping off. I do see people dropping off when it comes to like the whole microtransactions of it all. That's gonna be a whole different reason to be dropping off like the hype train for this. But when it comes to just jumping off for the delay, I don't see that many happening, especially because there's this delay now, but then I don't know, maybe in like March or something, as long as there's not another delay, they'll do like a tech demo.
That's the thing. How do you know there won't be?
Are all back in.
Well, but this is the thing, right? The incentives in the video game industry are so screwed up right now, right? The basic expectation, I think, by most consumers, and Jack, I would love you to go deeper into this, but the basic expectation by most consumers, I think, is that a game on delivery will be kind of busted, right? And then I feel like what Deepak's asking about is like, will the delay cause some dip in enthusiasm? But like, if they release a game that works, I feel like people will be over the moon, right? Like the incentive structures are so weird right now in video games that like, if they do delay 6 months and put out a finished product, like,
but they won't do that. We know they won't. So if it's going to be an incomplete game, whether it's now or 6 months or in 12 months,
they're saying the delay is what they need to fix it up. I mean, I hear you, but
right.
So then it's something fundamental to the gameplay or to the story.
Well, when they say that they want to avoid a cyberpunk situation, right? What they're alluding to the fact that when Cyberpunk came out, it took like 6 months for them to actually make it functional, right? That like
because there was so much DLC.
Like trees were it was just like it was busted. Like it just hadn't finished coding it. Like trees were just like bending over sideways and stuff. Like it wasn't functional.
It got a lot of patches. DLC is typically associated with spending money for it.
Like
all
additional
the
game
Cyberpunk
content or something.
got to make it fixable were free.
But that was after
a number about a year.
But that was after a number of delays already.
Where everyone was just T-posing the entire time.
Yeah.
See, how do you know that wasn't a creative choice?
Right. Well, if it was definitely a creative choice they bailed out of about 6 months later with the patches. So I would think
they folded to online trolls. I don't respect that.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. So We'll see if GTA 6 ever shows up. But until then, we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, movie news. We got a lot of interesting movie news coming out this week. The Sydney Sweeney boxer movie that was marketed terribly did predictably poorly. We got news about a Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz Mummy reboot. We got a Super Mario Galaxy trailer. We got a Gremlins 3 rumor. There's even more stuff to talk about. Two Devil, Two Prada. Who wants to start and where are we going?
That was a lot that you just threw out. The big one there is that they're getting Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz back for a true Mummy 3. Those who may have forgotten, we got The Mummy in 99, we got Mummy Returns in 01. Fraser and Weiss were in both of those. Then when they did the third one, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, in 2007 or 8, Weiss couldn't come back, so she was replaced with Maria Bello. Obviously, a perfectly talented actress in her own right, but there was something special with the Fraser-Weiss chemistry that an entire generation has become nostalgic about, which makes it ripe, given the Fraser-erection that's also happening over the last few years.
What is a place like me doing in a girl like this?
Yeah. I just want to see her tip over another whole ancient Egyptian library.
With domino shelves. It's so good. I can't wait. This is
and it's a practical effect.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Now, here's the thing. I do not know.
Bring back Stephen Sommers, by the way, also to direct it, please.
Well, we're not. We're getting radio silence, which I think is worth discussing. So I do not really know much of the work of horror director duo Radio Silence. They are repped by...
Oh, that's their actual name? I thought you were just saying the studio was not telling us.
I mean,
that's what I thought I'd want to
I don't think their mom called them that, but
yeah.
That's what they go by.
I don't think it's their Christian.
I was like, Riley's guy at the studio is just not telling them anything.
Yeah, I know.
I got radio silence.
I keep banging on the door. They're like, we're going to get someone. It's fine. No, Tyler Gillette and Matt Batelli-Olfen are known as the directing team Radio Silence. They directed Scream in 2022. They directed Scream 6, and they directed Ready or Not.
I've heard Ready or Not is good.
And Abigail, I think, was also them. So, I mean, they've been around. They've done a lot of stuff. They are definitely in, like, the horror scene right now.
They're not who I would have...
It's not quite the right bit of tone, right? It is a little off.
No, I think tone is actually okay because the Scream movies, I've seen both the Scream movies, and they do have that mix of, like, the Scream movies are funny. They're not super intense. But when they need to be intense, they can be. I don't think their two Screams are particularly intense, but that's probably more to do with the Force Awakensization of that whole series.
Sure. As we will discuss more here in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's... like, I'd like to see Sam Raimi maybe take a stab at it, something like that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, but they're not going to hire real directors.
No. Well, we'll see what these guys do. I mean, they're not nobody, right? It's just for me that
I'm surprised Fraser and Weiss don't have the pull to ask for someone with more status.
Well, they're both in really weird career places, right? Like, say what you will about the Whale, but Brendan Fraser has sort of not worked for a while. Rachel Weisz has totally...
Whose fault is that?
Well,
Warner Brothers canceled the whole fucking Batman movie.
Everybody got it wrong. I'm not defending it, but I just think that they might not have the pull they had when they made The Mummy 2, is all I'm saying. Bruno, do you have a movie story of the week you wanted to dig into?
Yeah, I was the one who reported to the group about Gremlins 3 being announced by David Zaslav
With the Gremlins.
earlier last week. It's got a 2027 release, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know the actual month. We have Steven Spielberg is going to be executive producing. He was the director of the original 1984 film. The 1984, was he not?
He is a producer.
He's a producer.
Not bad.
It was directed by Chris Columbus, I think, the guy who did.
I thought Chris Columbus was only the writer.
Wait,
maybe
are you
he
guys
was
talking about
only
the
the
first Gremlins movie? It was
The
directed by
first
Joe
Gremlins.
Dante.
Joe Dante, that's who it was.
Joe Dante.
I'm over here trying to load up this Variety article. It's Joe Dante. Yeah.
The original writer Chris Columbus is coming back to direct and produce the film. He is
that's interesting.
He is co-writing with Zach Lipovsky and Adam B. Steen, who were the directing duo for Final Destination Bloodlines. So there's a lot of interesting moving parts in here, and I thought Final Destination Bloodlines was a really good legacy sequel, just being a fan of the franchise itself. So I have some faith in this, despite being wrong about who the original director was. I have some faith in this.
That's just fine.
And
It's
also
got vibes.
Tracks with the Scream directors getting The Mummy. Now the Final Destination directors get another big franchise or semi-big franchise. When did we get Gremlins 2? I thought there was just one Gremlins.
Oh, Gremlins 2 Deepak is, I would say, the more well-liked. Also Joe Dante, 1990. Way more Looney Tunes than the first one. I would say the second one is all about, what if all the Gremlins sort of had their own thing going on. And so
It's very intentionally like a satire, like on like the fact like you brought me on to do a sequel of this. Okay.
Oh, I see. So it's like Matrix 4.
it's fun though. Like I say, I think more people like it than the first
Yeah.
one. And Christopher Lee's in it.
It is really fun.
Well,
but
now
yeah,
we
like
must.
the first one is a little bit of like a comedy horror. This one is just a lot more just comedy.
Joe, do you know what it sounds like when you stab a gremlin in the back? I do. Jackson, you gotta. Do you guys know that story? Wait, I can't.
I
from,
do. It's an
Return of
insane
the Thing.
reference.
I was just telling Maggie about that this week. That Peter Jackson was just out here trying to direct Christopher Lee, and he goes, "Peter, do you know what it
You know I
sounds
killed
like
a man."
when you stab a man in the back?" I do. Anyway, Christopher Lee's in Gremlins 2. Jackson, what movie story do you want to talk about this week?
Let's talk about this Mario trailer.
Oh, wow. Don't sound so glum.
Well, I'm on the record as not being the biggest fan of the first Mario movie. In particular aspects like the casting and performances.
Small things.
But we do have a new trailer for the Super Mario Galaxy movie by Illumination. And I honestly liked it. I mean, maybe I'm just jaded now, because like they're not going to recast Chris. But I liked what I saw. It kind of felt more like a Mario movie to me in a weird way, because I think it wasn't trying to do like the Mario origin story of it all. So it just gets to be like,
sure,
we're doing Mario with all of this imagery and items and stuff from the games that you recognize. Some of the notable additions are Bowser Jr. as seemingly the main antagonist, since Bowser is still tiny and locked away, and Rosalina, who expectedly appears at the end in a fun action scene where she fights a boss from the original Mario Galaxy. So there was fun stuff like that, and I'm sent in the chat too that there was a lot of things that felt like they came from other games that were not Galaxy. Like there's a location that is from Odyssey, just straight up. Bowser Jr. is introduced in Mario Sunshine, and he has a lot of like imagery and symbolism that I think is reminiscent of his appearance in that game.
There's also other franchises as well, as Bowser Jr. did enter to the Prowler theme from the Spider.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about how they used the Prowler sound effect.
And he kind of looks like the Prowler too, in his weird little.
He's got a similar color aesthetic going on, so I see the connection for sure. We'll see if that sticks into the final cut now that everybody's memeing about it.
There's also Ninjas.
But, yeah, I love a Ninja, a little star guy. That's adorable.
They're not in Sunshine or Galaxy. I don't know.
No, they were in. I think they were introduced in Mario 2 originally. Doki Doki Panic. Yeah, Doki Doki Panic was adapted into Mario Brothers 2 for the West.
What's the location from Odyssey?
We see them biking over a sand dune, and then they go over and they see the inverted pyramid in the sand level from Odyssey. And then I don't know if we get it confirmed, but it really looks like the scene with the ninjas is taking place in New Donk City.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of like the neon lighting and stuff that we see from that.
I thought it was Casino Delfino, Jackson.
I would love that more. If I get to pick, then absolutely, let's go to Casino Delfino.
Either way, I'd be happy. But yeah, no Yoshi though anywhere in this trailer after our Easter egg.
Not a trace of a Yoshi, not a cast of a Yoshi, leading a lot of people to wonder if the boy's gonna speak. Canonically, he doesn't. But again, these movies have been pretty loosey-goosey. I mean, it's Mario canon. It's pretty loosey-goosey to begin with.
Didn't they already announce Coleman Domingo?
Excuse me?
Not that I recall.
Pardon me?
No, that's big news.
That was a joke. He's the
he's the cowardly lion. Yes, I was. Hold on. We all go scuttering for the computer.
You guys were like, "What the hell?"
We got to be up to date on our coverage.
That would be incredible.
I mean, yeah, that would be the vibe I would want.
Personally, Jack, I was just glad to see that this movie didn't seem like it was going to be suffering from any stereotypical sequel problems, like steering directly into its well-received villain for half the trailer in a kind of ridiculous musical bit that seemed to distract from the plot. That would have me worried if that's what this trailer did. I'd be.
They're
listen,
going for the song Oscar. They got denied last time.
You are right that Jack Black's performance is probably my favorite from the first movie, and I'm not alone in that. And he does take up a minute.
All over. He's literally half the trailer
minutes.
is Jack Black doing a bit.
He's the star of the second biggest movie of the year so far.
Yeah.
Which is also a video game movie.
And then the other half is like action scene montage set to music. But I prefer this over giving up the entire plot of the film, which is what I feel like most films do.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I definitely want all those Mario spoilers kept under wraps.
Whoa, okay, hold on. Look who's talking all of a sudden. Settle down.
Those narratively complex Mario games.
If we had seen Yoshi, you'd be like, I can't believe they're just putting Yoshi in the trailer, giving everything away.
Well, but the thing is, now that they haven't shown Yoshi, it's a spoiler that I know we're getting a Yoshi in the third act. There's it's gonna crack open like the alien egg.
Marketing pincer maneuver.
Yeah.
All right.
On
Finally,
the Yoshi casting, whether he has a voice or whether it's just Yoshi doing Yoshi voices, we all know the answer should be Alan Tudyk.
Oh, I think it should be me
or Jeff Goldblum or someone. Yeah.
Put me in.
I like Riley's option.
I didn't realize that you guys needed me here right now. Interesting. Yeah.
You ready? That's the noise Yoshi makes. I nailed it. Put me in, Coach. I'm ready
Ship
to go.
it.
Yeah, that's it. Done. Mail me the check. All right, last thing we wanted to speaking of done, mail me the check. I don't know if you guys are how aware any of you even are that Sydney Sweeney starred in a biographical drama about a trailblazing boxer who had to overcome domestic abuse to make a name for herself. But she did. Film's called Christie. It made $1.3 million over the weekend, debuting in 2,000 theaters in North America.
Well, that's a lot of money.
Was not the proudest showing for the film. And while the movie...
I've never had $1.3 million.
That's fair. While the movie, I think, is sort of... about important subject matter, and I would certainly encourage people to say it. And I will even say, I saw the one time I saw the trailer for it, last weekend when I was in the Alamo, I was like, oh, no one's going to see that, but that looks pretty good. I might try and check that out when it comes to VOD or whatever. I'd be interested to know the story of this woman. I think it's sort of clear Oscar bait that just didn't pan out. I don't really think there was any marketing surrounding it. I don't really think Sydney Sweeney's in a good place.
The first thing I heard about this movie was that it was bombing.
Yeah,
she made a big deal when she was cast, and she's been chronicling her de-glamming for it. Riley, you and I a couple years ago made a letterbox list of movies that were made just to win someone an Oscar, and this is one of them. It's so transparently you think I'm just a bombshell, but I can actually act.
Watch me butch it up in a boxing movie, yeah.
As if she didn't do the Reality Winner movie on HBO a couple years ago, which was actually good, and she actually gave a good performance. So I don't know what she has to prove to anyone. She's getting roasted online because of that clip from the Ron Howard movie came out where she's supposed to have a German accent. The one that didn't get picked up for any major distribution last year. So yeah, she's clearly trying to. It's like her and The Rock with Smashing Machine, I think, are trying to move away from. They're typically known for selling you things,
right?
Whether it's new vodka or underwear or whatever it is.
Jeans.
When you try to go from being the salesperson to now being the dramatic thespian who should be taken as seriously as Daniel Day-Lewis or Meryl Streep, it doesn't really work. You can dye your hair, you can wear a wig, you can do whatever. We still know that you're Dwayne Johnson and Sydney Sweeney. So.
And listen, not for nothing, but there is a reason celebrities didn't do commercials for the longest time, right? Put yourself out there if you want. Go do your funny little tongue-in-cheek Sydney Sweeney has good genes ad if you want to, but you're going to own the negative press from that, and then people aren't going to be interested in your movie. That's...
Right.
She's doing that interview this week where she's out here not distancing herself from... Right, and that's fine if that's the move you want to do, but then, when the national attitude is what it is, people are going, oh, maybe I don't want to go... it's all sort of a mess, and I feel like if she she feels like a celebrity to me, where if she was a little less accessible to the public all the time, she might have a slightly more, she might do better. I don't know. Maybe she needs a new agent.
What was the last thing she's come out with before this? Was it the Glenn Powell movie?
I think that was the last big thing. There was also Madam Web that was within the same year.
She was, of course, she was in Madame Web.
She was a victim of that.
She was in Immaculate. She did that nunsploitation flick.
Yeah.
I don't know what season of White Lotus she's in.
First one. It was a while ago.
Okay.
Right. I was gonna ask, maybe I don't know if it's a reaction to the jeans campaign that she did, or anything like that.
It's also a reaction to her dating the Scooter Braun guy while being in a movie about a woman who was abused.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think that plays.
That's the reaction from the fans and the audience themselves. I'm talking about and this is me completely putting on a tinfoil hat or something. Is the industry sort of reacting to this and already preemptively lessening the exposition of her? Because for one, we had almost zero marketing with Christy this year. We have her Housemaid movie with
I saw the trailer for that. Yeah,
coming out next month, and I have seen little to no marketing about that. I only just found out that the trailer dropped a couple.
The book is apparently a big deal.
She's gonna be in 222 Prada, isn't she?
She is supposedly in 222 Prada, but she's nowhere to be seen in the trailer. And she's very, very, very low on that.
Well, I mean, exactly two people are invisible.
With the Christie thing and the lack of marketing, it was distributed by a first-time distributor, Black Bear, who has worked in production for a long time, and their logos are on a bunch of movies. But this is the first time they actually distributed anything themselves. Obviously, they have some growing pains here, and it's a good thing, I guess, that they didn't go for something that could actually be a really good Oscar-type movie that we would want to see, and then it gets buried, and then 10 years from now we're going, oh, hey, The Brutalist was actually kind of good. We should have seen that. So I don't know if that's what happened here, but I think you could market it as well as you want. The bottom line is she's not a movie star. No one is going to the movies just for Sydney Sweeney unless she's doing Euphoria-type stuff.
Well, and that's the exact point, right? Housemaid remains to be seen. We shall find out. It is.
I think that's going to do well. It's
directed by Paul Feig. Yeah, it's basically just him doing Simple Plan again with two new actresses.
Or Simple Favor, or whatever.
Yeah, Simple Favor. You're absolutely right. In our world, she is supposedly slotted for Split Fiction at some point in the future, which would be interesting. But I think the really notable thing is that she has 8 episodes of Euphoria coming out next year, which is what everybody goes crazy for her about. I think they're done.
Lordy was just doing some interview where he had no idea about it.
Oh, well then who knows? I'm on IMDb and it says 8 episodes in the can, but what does the IMDb know? But so, if she's got 8 episodes of Euphoria coming, I think that'll be a career reset for her. And then supposedly she's doing the live action Gundam movie. And more seriously is supposedly going to be Kim Novak in a Sammy Davis Jr. Biopic directed by Coleman Domingo. So I feel like that will maybe be the thing that rights the ship if and when we ever get there. Sort of a Euphoria reset followed up by a prestige movie, I think could be helpful.
Fair.
She's a really good choice for that too.
Our boy Peter I know the segment's already going too long, but isn't the monster in Frankenstein also famous for being in Euphoria?
Yes.
I feel like he is successfully making that.
Young Master Elordi is one of the few
Spider-Man's girlfriend.
Yep,
Jacob Elordi. Yep.
Him and Zendaya are the two that have really.
Isn't
jumped.
Coleman Domingo also from Euphoria? He's had a career before that. Obviously.
I have never seen a frame of Euphoria. I would be the worst person in the world to ask this question.
I haven't seen anything of Euphoria, but now that you mentioned Deepak, I do think he had a recurring role once, very briefly.
I forget. I've seen the first season. I saw enough to know it wasn't for me. But
it's about teenagers that have sex, right?
I remember seeing him on
it's one of the scariest things you'll ever watch.
When we get back, DC Punch 'em Ups. Bruno, could you please explain to these uneducated swine everything they need to know about DCKO, the cultural event of the season?
Oh God, I feel like I'm going to be here for an hour if I explain everything about DCKO. Okay, so basically, in a nutshell. Okay, hold on. In a nutshell, Darkseid has secretly taken over the Earth, and to be able to take the Earth back from him, the Justice League has been forced into a tournament where they must fight against each other to the
hell
death,
yeah.
This sounds familiar.
so that they can be as powerful and as menacing as Darkseid. That is actually part of the intention in the tournament, so that they can eventually usurp him.
Is this is this
Some
being
sort of
written by a
battle world.
mangaka? What the fuck is this?
It is. It's being
Sounds very
as
familiar.
close to a manga as you can.
So I am dropping the
With such a
bracket.
menacing aura.
I am dropping the bracket into our podcasts chat.
Oh my god.
You can
This is
see
real?
that the first round is already done.
I'll be putting up this bracket for
Oh my
the
god.
viewers. So just if you haven't read
Oh.
DCKO so far, just be heads up. There will be spoilers for round one.
Rip
But-
Giganta.
Well, so this is what I want to talk. So
How
you
did
can-
this get to? Is this who would actually win in
No,
the fight, or is
no,
this popular?
So
they're
God, I
doing it
hate
in-
this already.
They're doing it in the book. This is what I'm saying. It's a whole series. You got to
This is
keep up.
canon, baby.
It's what is it? 12 issues?
So it is. I think the event itself is supposed to go until 6 issues. And Deepak, you might already know this. Like every few years or so, DC does this. They will go through an event that will basically do a soft reboot on their whole universe.
Right.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's
like
what
their new
this is.
52 thing again. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what this
Yeah,
is.
I mean, this is standard there.
It's essentially going to be like the universe, at least my guess, when it does hit its soft reboot, is going to be built sort of in the image of whoever's winning this tournament.
How does Metamorpho lose to Harley Quinn?
You'll have to read the comics to find out.
Yeah, have I
can't
got
We
it
have
on
to
play
read
all
comics
these
to find out.
fights.
If you want my answer, everyone just watched Superman, and they don't want Metamorpho versus Superman, and so they just immediately nerfed him out of the tournament.
Yeah.
That is my answer to that question.
Now
No, I
you
mean
can
the
also-
answer is because Harley Quinn is recklessly popular. But anyway,
Well, you could also submit your bracket online on the DC website. You
Right.
could let them know who your pick
Great.
was to win.
Love that.
So I
writing
now
a strongly worded letter.
I right now am locked with Lex Luthor as my pick to win the DC KO tournament. And I honestly feel pretty strong about it. I will also let you know that our good buddy Fred Neighbor has been keeping in touch with me about the DC KO tournament, and he is cheering for Lobo.
Nice. Nice.
So
It's on
If
brand.
you're right that they get to make the next universe, that would be incredible.
Lobo's against Wonder Woman next. I don't know how about that.
that's what I told him too. I don't know if Lobo's making it through Wonder Woman, but Bruno, I also think you should share who your pick is.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I should submit another pick because admittedly my pick is already out first round, and I feel like it would be cheating if I submitted another pick right now. But being very confident that Batman was
Really confident.
Batman was shooed out of this tournament so that Joker would
I
take
did
his
see
place.
this. Yeah, this seems like something might have happened here.
I was very confident that Damian Wayne was going to be winning this tournament.
Hmm.
Basically being everything that his dad wants, plus ruthless enough to be as ruthless as Darkseid. But
He's
alas,
perfect.
alas, as you can see,
Batman
from round
versus
one,
Damian
he lost
Wayne would have been
to-
crazy.
Yeah,
he lost to his brother? Question mark Red Hood, Jason Todd. So
Indeed.
maybe
Yeah, it feels like there was a little bit of revenge there.
maybe Jason
I-
Todd could win now. That will be my new pick, but it's not looking good for.
I
Wayne.
want the one that the networks don't want. I want the Indiana Oklahoma City NBA Finals. So
You want Jay Garrick to go all the way?
yeah, so let's do let's do a Jay Garrick versus Zatanna final.
Very good. I think Deepak's final four has to be Jay Garrick, Swamp Thing, Zatanna, and Edrigan the Demon.
Okay, well, like I mean, if we have the time, do we want to just go through the round two
Yeah, there's
picks
only
real
8.
quick and just see who
Want is an
who we think
interesting
will be
word.
out of it? Okay.
Superman, Captain Atom. I will say this one is sort of spoiled. The one piece of information we do kind of have from the book is that it's all in flashback, and you sort of do see Superman, like presumably walking into the final. So I'm
gonna go ahead and take Superman pretty far.
Bruno disagrees.
No. I'm pretty sure that was Superman walking into like sort of like there was an introductory phase where they had to face off against a bunch of demons before they actually entered the tournament, and I think that's what that was.
So Superman can still get his atom smashed.
There you go.
I do think it's
Well,
between Superman and Captain
I still
Atom. It's
think
still
I'm
gonna be
gonna take
Superman.
the Man of Steel
Because
on this one.
DCKO is, as Riley already pointed out, Superman does seem to be framed as a protagonist, at least right now. So
What a strange way to frame him.
Well, what an odd choice.
Unlike
Strange. Yeah.
I am not so sure if he's going to be going all the way to the final, but he's at least going all the way to the semifinal.
He's at least Final Four.
I think we all take Superman here. Old school Green Lantern Guy Gardner versus old school Flash Jay Garrick.
Actually, might take the Flash on
It's
that
gonna
one.
be fun.
I'm taking Lantern.
I mean, if it's about the menacing aura of it all,
Is this
then yeah,
is this
I
the
can
Flash
go.
with the tin hat and the lightning
Yep.
bolts coming
Yes,
off?
That's absolutely
Yeah,
who it is.
I want that.
I'm
guy.
actually with Deepak here. I think I might go with Jay Garrick.
All right, very good. Switching divisions now, we have Aquaman versus Hawkman.
Men.
And I am going to take Aquaman.
Is it true
Boys.
Aquaman or is it fucking Radiohead bro?
No, it is real. It is
Aquaman.
Aryan Aquaman, just like you want,
Yes.
Deepak.
Yes. As God intended. Yeah. I'll take him.
I'd love to see Aquaman. I mean, first of all, putting Aquaman up against King Shark feels like
You
unfair.
just tell him to go away.
Yeah.
Right.
King Shark wouldn't fight.
But yeah, I would love to see Aquaman go forward. I don't know if I believe he will, but I'll take
I
him
also thought-
to infuse him with my spirit bomb.
Neither Deepak or Jack, maybe not even Riley, will know this character, but I thought it was really funny that in the first round they put Hawkman versus Connor Hawk.
Yeah, of
Connor
course.
Hawk.
I
I mean,
was-
I do appreciate the joke of that.
Yeah, I was wondering who.
Connor Hawk is
assuming
the
he's like a
son
baby
of
Hawkman.
Oliver Queen.
Yes.
Oh.
That makes sense.
The
Okay.
Arrow.
Because
Bruno is the
this
pretender to the
continuity-
throne, trying to step to me on DC continuity. But
Comic book knowledge.
that's
Come for
a
the king, you don't
question
miss.
for another time.
Don't miss, Bruno.
Well, Riley, we know how you feel about Lex Luthor versus the Demon.
Though I do love Edrigan, my heart is broken. by
He's such a
this.
funny character in the cartoons sometimes.
I thought I could do it. I thought I could do a rhyme like he does, but I couldn't quite get there.
I
No.
appreciate the attempt. I do
But
like
in-
that he got to beat Supergirl at least. But yeah, I think Lex is going to take this one.
So there's Lex versus Aquaman, and did we decide on Gardner or Garrick?
No, we were split.
We-
We're split.
So it'll be winner takes Superman.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll also check back when we get to the final four. All right, other side, let's just zip through it real quick because we have one more story we got to do before we get out of here.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman,
Uh,
Lobo. Fred says
Wonder
Lobo,
Woman.
so he'll be the tiebreaker if needed. I'll take Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I'll take the
I'll take
the
Diana.
Amazonian.
You know what? I'll take Lobo. He's been on a few variant covers. Maybe they're teasing something.
All right, I
He
would
is
love
No,
next.
they're hyping him up for Supergirl. That's all.
that. Cyborg or Swamp Thing? Battle of the characters we never want to put in a movie again.
Thing.
I like Cyborg.
He's getting a movie,
I
allegedly.
think it's also Swamp Thing.
I probably also take Swamp Thing, unfortunately.
It's gonna be the Green.
Now we've seen this one go down before: Joker versus the Red Hood. Jason
Red
getting the
Hood.
I mean,
crowbar.
that's almost as good as Batman versus Damian, to be fair. I think the Red Hood is going to win.
I'm tired of the Joker.
Classic bit of revenge.
I think it could be the Red Hood. I think Red Hood has a good chance of knocking out Joker. I don't think he's like meant to be this here for this long. I think he was just like that.
Well, yeah, he's literally not meant to be here.
I'll take
Yeah.
I'll take Joker with the crowbar.
With the crowbar. It's got to be with the crowbar if it happens.
In the sitting room.
And then Zatanna, Harley Quinn, the obligatory cat fight of the comic
I'll
book.
take Zendaya.
I'll
Oh.
take Zatanna. I'll take Zatanna purely on principle.
Zatanna,
yeah,
just so we
Harley
don't get Harley Quinn versus Joker, please.
Just so we don't get Harley Quinn anymore.
Oh God, you're right.
Harley Joker
I
is
would-
really threatening. Actually, that is
No. Zatanna, Red Hood. Let's go.
When we get back, we are talking about Predator Badlands. And we're back, and we have opinions on the film Predator Badlands. I don't know that we're going to talk about the substance of the plot too much, although we can get into it if you guys want to get into it.
I
sort of-
will.
Substance.
I,
had substance.
my thoughts could really be summarized without dipping too far into it, which was that this really did feel to me like it was the Disneyfication of Predator. Like this feels like it is what happens when Disney buys an action horror franchise. I was interested to see Trachtenberg take it in this direction. I was a little bit surprised, but I did feel like maybe Prey was sort of that model of him actually doing a true Predator movie, and this was something else entirely. I don't know if it was what I was looking for, but I will say this, and then I want to hear what you guys have to say and where you want to take this conversation. The one thing I really did have to say in defense of it, well, two things. First, I didn't think it looked that great, but also I saw it immediately preceded by the Avatar Fire and Ash trailer, and boy, nothing is worse for my guy Dak of the Yautja than being seen immediately after the Avatar Fire and Ash trailer, which is just the best looking thing I've ever seen on a screen in my entire life. I was like crying. It looked so cool. And then we went to the sort of gummy Dak of the Yautja and his sort of cummy group of friends. I have a 12-year-old nephew. When I first saw Predator, I was probably an early teen, 12, 13, 14, in that zone. And I thought it was very cool because some of the things I thought were very cool when I was that age were like Arnold Schwarzenegger and like the
Invisible
jungle
alien.
and like invisible aliens,
Yeah.
right? I have a 12-year-old nephew, and I was thinking during this movie, man, I am not really enjoying this, but I bet if my nephew Jack was here, he'd be losing his goddamn mind for this thing. Like, this is made for that kid because what he likes is franchise storytelling and computer-generated imagery and fun little buddies, right? And that's what this movie offers up because that's what like Disney has made this sort of model of storytelling. So, like not for me, but I understood what was happening, I think was kind of my takeaway at the end of the day. What'd y'all think?
Is the fun little buddy the Predator or Elle Fanning?
They're sort of each other's fun little buddies in a weird way.
And then there's another fun little
there's
buddy.
a third
There's
fun
another
little
one.
buddy, actually.
Oh my god, I gotta see this movie.
Okay.
It's like tailor made for a Funko Pop. This thing.
Yeah.
Deepak, do you want to go next? Should I go next? Jack, have you seen this?
Nope.
No.
I mean, my thoughts are quick. I didn't care for it. I think it's perfectly fine, adequate if you want just like a superficial sci-fi action movie. But it's not Predator.
Right.
It's it's not been a consistent franchise to begin with as far as the quality of the movies, but they all sort of feel like they are cut from the same cloth in terms of what the Predator is
Right.
and sort of structurally
You like
what
the
these
part where the
movies
Predator
do.
talked?
Yeah,
part?
this did not feel like that at all. And if this is the direction they want to move in, I just really, really hope that they don't do the same thing to Alien. But the silver lining here is that it does look like we're in a world where Alien and Predator can meet again. And if they're going to go silly, that's the sort of silly I would prefer.
Sure, an AVP versus...
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack,
That's
I will,
all I have.
to quote our buddy Rooster Cogburn, Jack, I was struck that Dak
There
of the
is no
Yautja
cork on my
was...
business.
I was shot that Dak of the Yautja was shot, trampled, and nearly severed his tongue, and not only wouldn't cease to talk, but spilled the banks of English. Dak of the Yautja would not shut the fuck up.
So
Yeah, no, I remember when they announced this, I was excited at the idea of a movie starring a Predator because I was like, oh, that's going to have to be such interesting storytelling where they don't have any dialogue. And then they introduced Elle Fanning, and I was like, oh, I guess that makes sense. Like, you want a perspective character to relate to, and like she can do dialogue. And then they showed him talking, and I was like,
And then they showed him
oh
going,
no.
right. I guess I have like two main complaints when it comes to this movie. Overall, I could say I liked it, but it takes a lot of nitpicking to get there, and a lot of that nitpicking boils down to two main complaints that I have. On one hand, it completely pivoted from what we're used to with the Predator franchise and went into a very buddy comedy energy that we are used to seeing with all of these Disney adventure films. And I can see the why they did that, and like it's the whole reason why I pointed out that this is probably, despite our complaints, this is probably going to be Predator's most crowd-pleasing film out of all their films. My second complaint, and I'm going to try really hard to not like just without like spoiling the story here and stuff. There's the first act, no, not even the first act. I'm going to say the prologue of the movie that has a little bit of a conflict there that sort of directly / indirectly leads into the conflict of the first act and like mainly the whole movie. And I sat there the whole time wondering if there was a better movie if we just sat there with that prologue for the whole time.
Yeah.
You're talking about the family conflict.
Yes, the family conflict. And then the movie decided to end, surprise, we are coming back to that family conflict in the next movie with all of the negatives of this movie, all combined.
So we follow Dak of the Yautja as he goes on this sort of hunt to prove himself, and if he can kill this unkillable beast, then he'll be welcomed back into his clan, and if not, then he will have to live the rest of his life forever as an outcast. And I was surprised. I mean, we know that there is conflict in his family when he goes home, and I actually thought that was one of the better parts. Was like that final sequence where he shows off against his dad, and like kind of the whole like emotional arc of the thing comes home to roost. I was like, this rules. I really enjoyed that part, but that was him being the predator. And like, again, I get that maybe that's just, I do feel sort of like the world's oldest man being like, back in my day, you couldn't see him and he fought Arnold. But like, it does feel like it's a different thing now. And if that's what it is, it's fine. But I really liked Prey. And when you signed Dan Trachtenberg up to do another Predator movie, and then you do the whole like Killer of Killers thing as the prelude to it, this definitely is not what I was expecting the movie to be. And I guess I do hope, maybe in the same way that like James Gunn is so compelled to give us the Robert Pattinson Batman and the Andy Muschietti Batman, like I kind of wonder if maybe there's a lane for Dak of the Yautja and lane for like Prey 2 or whatever.
Well, that's the thing. It feels like they've hired Trachtenberg to make 3 separate tries at what he thinks Predator could be going forward. We get Prey, we get Killer of Killers, and now we get Badlands. And Killer of Killers is very similar to Predators. If anyone's seen that, the Adrian Brody one, the concept is we get a bunch of the most deadly human killers, put them on a planet with a bunch of predators and see who survives.
Low-key, like, my favorite entry of the franchise. I know that's, like, a minority
Predators?
thing. Yeah, but Predators is, like,
it's my favorite after the first one. Yeah, I think it's really good. Underrated. And then Prey, of course, we've all talked about. It's fantastic. But I don't know that you can really continue that the way that movie ended and set up. So if this is really sort of the ripest fodder for a franchise and continued installments, go for it. And I guess I'll hope that a xenomorph shows up one day, but I would hope that they at least maintain the diversity of content, rather than just if this is all we're getting Predator wise for the next few years. It's even more disappointing than the movie ended up being.
I was interested in so I would say the big 4 Fox IP that Disney subsumed when they bought Fox were Avatar, Apes, Alien, Predator. I think those are the 4. Right? We know, of course, Ice Age. We know the track that Avatar is on. We're getting another Apes in 27.
Yikes.
Alien and Predator, I think, are the 2 big question marks.
Is Alien a question mark?
Alien Earth just got a season 2 renewal, and then we have the sequel for Alien Romulus on the way as well.
Are we doing a Romulus sequel?
Yeah, it's just that Alvarez is not coming back this season.
Yeah. I think he may have already helped with the script because he did like a very early draft, but then like he's probably gonna have like a co-writing credit.
Yeah, he'll have some nominal executive producer credit or something.
Yeah.
So those 4 IP to me are all sort of homogenizing. Like, remains to be seen on Fire and Ash. We'll see what happens with the Cameron of that. But the vibe of these other 3 seems to really be pulling closer and closer together, where like it is sort of all just getting the Force Awakens sheen of like it's kind of just the same story, but this one has apes and this one has predators and this one has aliens or robots
all near
fighting
future.
aliens.
It's a near future sci-fi across all of them, right?
Yeah.
Apes, predators. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if you meant that in the sense that they're moving closer together, like in like a diegetic sense that they're going to actually.
I don't know if they will interact or not. I just mean that like I don't see too much of a storytelling gap between Wendy on the Alien TV
like
show.
What is one of these franchises offering that the other doesn't?
Yeah, right. Like it's just what do you want to see the oval head or do you want to see the weird mouth? Like
I mean, that's basically what the last Apes movie was. Like, there's no reason for that movie to exist.
That's what I'm saying. But maybe you want it to be monkeys, but it's just like the same thing, right? It's just you're swapping out what you like about it. And I just think it's interesting because then if we look at like the IP that it seems like Disney is not playing with in Fox, Kingsman, Master and Commander, Die Hard. The Agatha Christie world, all the stuff that doesn't really fit into that model as much. So I like that's just I think that's interesting that I feel like they sort of have a result, and if they can reverse engineer from the result to an IP, then they're like, great, load her up, baby. But they're not just
Yeah,
doing another Die Hard movie.
yeah, some of those like Die Hard, especially, I think you're so closely tied to Bruce Willis being it. Like, you're past the point now where you can recast Glenn Powell to be John McClane, right? Like,
Yeah.
the way that they're past being able to make Chris Pratt or Bradley Cooper the new Indiana Jones. So, I think with something like that, you're stuck with it. And Kingsman might also be the same way. Not that Taron Egerton is equitable to Bruce Willis in that regard, but I don't know that you have an appetite for Kingsman without him, and I don't know that there's much of an appetite for him. So, what do you do with Kingsman at that point?
Taron Egerton Die Hard remake?
Taron Egerton Wolverine, I think, is where we're going.
Oh, you know what? You're probably right.
Yeah.
He's probably very booked for getting his claw fittings.
Has he done anything like with Disney, like just so far to like already like have a connection?
No, but he was the first name thrown around when they announced they were going to do the live action Hercules.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, no, that would make sense. I
Yeah.
remember that.
In fact, it might have been us that did that. I remember us doing an episode.
We might have thrown his name around, actually.
You heard it. We heard it here first.
All right. When we get back, pop culture recommendations. Stay tuned. So that's it. That's all the news for this week. Before we go, we want to let you know about some other stuff we have going on the website. If you head over to nihf.com or youtube.com/@nerditherefirst if you're nasty, you can see Deepak and I talk about Begonia. We had KB join us. It was a great conversation. We talked about the male loneliness epidemic, the dying out of the honeybees, and whether or not Emma Stone is an alien, just to name a few things. So you should definitely check out that review. It was a lot of fun to talk to KB, and she's going to be back soon. So you're going to be, Deepak and I are going to be catching up on old conversations with her in the future, and you're going to be going, when did they start talking about this? I don't remember them talking about this. And it's going to be because you skipped the Begonia episode like a rube. So go check it out now.
Loser.
Before we get out of here, we're going to hit you with some pop culture recommendations. These are things that stood out to us this week that we watched, read, ate, listened to, or played that we think you'll enjoy and we think you'll like too. And this week, I want to start with Bruno.
Yeah, so I've already talked about this a couple weeks ago when the first two episodes came out, and Ad Hoc Studios just came out with their last two episodes of Dispatch, which you can get on Steam. And it has been
today, huh?
It has been a blast so far. These last two episodes focus a lot more on the whole like telltale aspects that the game has, where like you have a lot of dialogue and choices matters for like what's going on within the story. But then there's also a dispatch simulator that I was actually like talking about with Jack that is very like intuitive and is like probably like one of my favorite parts of the game, where you really need to like sort through not only each of your superheroes like stats, but also like their specific unique abilities and personalities to see how well they fit into specific emergency calls. And so yeah, I've been having a really good time. I am just about done with the finale. I had to log off just before the epilogue started to get on this recording. So I will be finishing the episode as soon as we're done. And yeah, it's been great. I will definitely be doing a new game next week to right all of my wrongs because I did a lot of wrongs.
Because you did a bad boy playthrough.
If either Riley or Deepak are interested, I would definitely be down with just doing like a let's play on NIHF at some point for this.
I'm absolutely there. Anybody who hasn't played this yet and is curious, 85% on Metacritic, 100% on OpenCritic, over 1 million units sold in the first 10 days of release. This thing is on fire. People can't stop talking about this game.
Yeah, well, I mean, Bruno mentioned the Telltale of it all, and it is after Telltale folded, like so many studios do, Ad Hoc is made up of a lot of their old development staff. So if you liked the Walking Dead game or the Wolf Among Us game or any of their stuff that they did while they were around, they're not known for maybe the most gameplay intensive experiences, but they are fun, especially to go through with a group. And this game does have more gameplay, like we were talking about with the dispatch of it all. I really like it. It was a good time.
Deepak, do you remember those Sports Center commercials in the 2000s? Like the This Is Sports Center commercials. It would be like mockumentary style, and like you'd have like Michael Jordan in an elevator full of mascots or whatever. Mm-hmm. Those ads inspired this game.
Oh,
but it's for
maybe I will play.
it's for superheroes instead of athletes. But the whole bit
Yeah,
is
I remember.
yeah,
Talking about it the other week.
But when I saw that they were inspired by those Sports Center ads, I just couldn't get. I got a real chuckle out of that because I always remember those. Jackson, what do you got for a rec this week?
Yeah, I have been playing a game called Traveler's Rest a lot. I've been playing it with some of my friends, and I had a good enough time that I started playing it on my own. It's a early access game that's a lot like Stardew Valley, if you've played Stardew Valley, but instead of operating a farm, it's about operating a tavern. So you have to make and brew your own beer and spirits, you have to make food to serve to customers, and then when you open the tavern to make money, you have to do like a whole like serving mini game where you have to manage orders and get people what they want and pour drinks and everything else, which adds a nice like active sort of time pressure element to it that I really like and has made me connect with it more than I have with Stardew recently. So it's been a really good time. It's pretty cheap. It is, like I say, it's in early access and has been since 2020, I think. So I don't think they're in a rush. And if that's a sticking point for you, I understand. But I have already gotten, I think, more than my money's worth out of the game.
It also won Best Casual Game. It was a finalist for Best Casual Game in 2024 at the Wholesome Direct. So
nice. I do actually know that event, and I like it. So
good,
that's great.
Good, even if unfinished. Deepak, what you got?
We've already talked a lot about what I've seen recently. Begonia, Predator. I watched Frankenstein recently, which I did not care for. I saw the new Jurassic World recently, which I did not care for. I'm going to keep it with Netflix and streaming. The most recent season of The Great British Baking Show just wrapped up. Not a super great season as far as competitiveness. I think it was known pretty much from like the second or third week who the best baker was, and it's just kind of waiting for her to win. Spoiler alert. But it was still a pretty good season. Had nothing on Love is Blind. The reunion happened a couple weeks ago. Lord have mercy. Unbelievable shit show. It was amazing. They all suck. One or two of them got a little better, but the rest of them got worse. One of the couples, the girl didn't want him, but then in like the year between they filmed and the reunion, she apparently met another guy and liked him well enough to have already had a kid with him. It's unbelievable. Like nothing makes sense. It's insane. Insane.
Deepak reality show corner might need to replace Deepak.
Oh my god.
Star Wars corner on this show.
It's all trash TV, so who cares, you know?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I love it. I have been reading.
I meant Star Wars.
Yeah, sure, fair enough. Tomato. I have been reading a 432-page novel that I am about halfway through. I should be done by now. I've been reading it for like a month, but
Bible?
I don't read it as often as I want to. It is titled Remain, a supernatural love story, and it is from authors Nicholas Sparks and our guy M. Night Shyamalan, whose movie based on the novel comes out next year. I thought about whether or not I wanted to read it, but I thought, you know what? His name's on the book. He's putting it out now. It's appropriate for me to read it now. I'm really enjoying the story. I am sort of seeing how it's going to come together, but like there are parts of it that I am I think Sparks probably had more to do with the novel, and Shyamalan obviously more to do with the film. So I'm kind of wondering if parts will be like scarier than they are in Sparks's prose in Shyamalan's version. But I can definitely see how the story's coming together. I'm very interested in it, and I will say, as a little bit of a tease, I am sort of wondering if it is a stealth sequel to another M. Night Shyamalan movie from back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Are you visualizing Jake Gyllenhaal the whole time?
I had to start visualizing Jake Gyllenhaal about halfway through when I looked up and discovered that that's who it was. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's been great.
Well, now you've got me curious about the sequel now.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Now I want to pick up this book.
Definitely do it. It's good, and you'll.
There aren't a whole lot more that he could do that with.
Well, we'll see. This has been Nerdy Here Weekly. Thank you so much for listening. Please remember to check out our stuff on our website, nhf.com, or on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@NerdItHereFirst. You can also get our stuff on social media @NerdItHereFirst on Instagram, TikTok, and all of them, really. It's @NerdItHereFirst on all of them.
MySpace, all of it.
Yeah. Friendster. Make sure Thank you to Wiki Rascals for our logo and artwork. Thank you to Purple Planet for our theme music. Thank you to Bruno Meneses for making this episode as great as it is, for all your production support and editing skills. And thank you to you for supporting this show. If you've already subscribed, make sure you share it with a friend. And whether or not this is your first episode, make sure you check in with us again next week to hear.